सदा शिव
Acharya madhyamam asmadacharya paryantam vande guru paramparam Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Yasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavai Om Shanti 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 Om Tat Sat Om Namah Shivaya. So let us continue with where we left off. I think we are on the 17th mantra now. So we will chant chapter 12, verse number 17. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Yo na hrishyati na dveshti
Yo na hishyati na dveshti
na shochati na kankshati Shubha Shubha Parityagi
Shubha Shubha Parityagi
Bhaktimanya Same Priyaha.
Bhaktimanya
Okay. So look at the words. Saha Bhaktiman, that devotee. Yaha na hrishyati na dvesh, na shochati, who does not either rejoice too much, nor does he grieve. Na kankshati na dveshti, does not desire, does not hate. Yaha shubhaha ashubhaha parityagi. That person who is given up parityagaha, who is given up shubhaha, the good, as well as ashubhaha, the evil, that person same priyaha, that person is the dearest to me. So Krishna is talking about the necessity in life, not just in spiritual life. In normal life, even if you're an extremely non-spiritual person, the maturity lies in freedom from extreme emotional swings, extreme emotional reactions to situations. Because situations are not in our control. They are driven by prarabdha, something will be good and something will be bad. And therefore, narishyati na shochati, the one who does not rejoice too much, the one who does not go over the moon when things are going well, and one who does not go into the ditch of depression, na shochati, when things are not going well. And dveshti na kankshati, the one who does not hate somebody, the one who does not desperately want somebody. So there will be, according to your prarabdha, you will have favorable situations, and you may be very happy during those situations, and you will have unpleasant situations where your mind will be definitely disturbed. Krishna is not saying you shouldn't have the situation, you shouldn't have the responses because you have a mind. Even the jnani's mind is not free from disturbances. Let me be very clear about that. Mind is anatma. Anatma can be influenced by anatma. So Krishna is not saying do not have emotional responses, but your jnanam should bring in sufficient distance between you and the mind so that the emotional disturbances or responses, because it can be pleasant, it can be unpleasant. So the emotional responses are not so strong that they will cloud your discrimination, that they will cloud your intellect. So under the pressure of a deep emotional sorrow or under the push of great joy out of some, anatma situation, remember that what is being said, that under all the circumstances, your intellect should be able to function properly. Normally, extreme emotion makes it impossible for the intellect to function. And herein lies the value of jnana. It brings in the, the distance between you and your mind, so that you can say, yes, my mind is happy, my mind is sad, but my buddhi is intact. It is still functional. And this great wealth is Vivek Shakti. In fact, there's an entire text which Shankaracharya has written called Viveka Chudamani. So Viveka helps me to, uh, respond to situations in my life. And if I am angry for something, and definitely the mind will get angry. Somebody says something, somebody keeps on nagging you. The best of jnanis will lose their temper. So I'm angry. What will I do? Can you say that I am not going to be angry? What is the answer? Suppose somebody is nagging you, nagging you, nagging you, nagging. All of us have people in our lives, let me tell you, who do this. And if somebody says that I don't have somebody in my life like that, then he's a sannyasi who has got no relationships. Any relationships, you will always have people who will come and bug you. True or false?
Yes.
True, true.
True, right? A very emphatic true.
Hmm.
So, what will you do when this person bugs you? It's basically the mind is reacting, right? Mind is anatma, it's going to react, and you will have anger. So, you can't say that I'm not getting angry because it is not voluntary anger, it is involuntary. You are not inviting it, it is coming. So, what is it that you can do?
We remember you, Acharya ji.
So, what do you need? You don't think that I don't get angry, okay? My wife,
Yeah.
if you ask her, she will tell you all
No,
sorts of
we
stories.
remember you
My
for
mind
your
is angry.
teachings. We remember you for your teachings. We live it as
Okay.
it is typical in life.
So, what is being said here is that your mind may be angry, but it is, you need the inner space, the mental outlook, the mental balance to know that, oh, my mind is going out of it's doing what it should not be doing. It is getting angry, right? It's like a car. When you drive from Bombay to, let us say, Delhi, somewhere near Jaipur, your car becomes very, very hot. Steam comes out. What do you do?
Open the bonnet
Yes.
and pour water
Cool
into
down.
the
And
give it rest.
you
Give it
wait,
rest.
right?
Yeah.
You wait. So you postpone the further driving. So when you get angry, you postpone your responses. And if the person is there and doing kitch, 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 you tell the person that, I am getting angry, so I won't respond to you just now. I will go for a walk. You go for a long walk and come, right? So by that time, your mind is back in balance. So just like when the car overheats, you park it. When your mind is, overheating, you park the mind. You keep it somewhere. You don't, like somebody says something, and your immediate reaction is, let me, blast that person. I need to fire him. What should you do? You start listening to one of the lectures. Don't message, don't phone, don't email, don't talk. Remember, it is not possible for the mind to be free from emotional disturbances. And therefore, when Krishna says, na rashyati na sochati, he says, be aware. Be aware that is happening. Don't react. Similarly, na kankshati na dveshti. Be aware there is desire. Be aware there is dislike. Well, nobody can be free from expectations. Everybody has expectations. We saw this. Indriyasya indriyasyarthe ragadvaisho vyavastitau. We saw it in chapter 4. Raga Dvesha is built into you, is natural to you. You can plan for the future, but you cannot control the future. You can expect, but do not expect that that expectation will be fulfilled. Therefore, wisdom lies in my being prepared for the non-fulfillment of my expectation. Right? So, when we were doing, when I was an investment banker, I used to tell my people, hope for the best, but be prepared for the worst. Plan for the worst, but hope for the best. Your planning should be impeccable, but be prepared. Have a plan A, plan B, plan C, plan D as, what happens when the original plan doesn't work? You fall to plan A. If that doesn't work, you fall to plan B. Be prepared for the worst. If you have this understanding in your life, it's a great comfort. And Shubha Ashubha Parityagi. He renounces all Shubha karma and all Ashubha karma. So Ashubha karma here means, in terms of scriptures, Nishiddha karma, prohibited karmas. Right? Of course, from the Karma Kanda part, Karma Kanda viewpoint, Ashubha karma means Nishiddha karma, prohibited actions like don't eat meat, don't drink liquor, all those things. But from the Vedantic angle, remember that there are two other types of karmas, Kamya karma and Prayashchitta karma, which are encouraged in the Karma Kanda. But from the Jnana Kanda point of view, even Kamya karma and Prayashchitta karma are also Ashubha karmas. Why? Because they are obstacles to your spiritual growth. So from the Vedantic point, when he says Ashubha Parityagi, he is not only renouncing prohibited karmas, he is reducing his Kamya karmas and Prayashchitta karmas also. And then Shubha karmani. Why does he renounce Shubha karmani? What is Shubha karmani? Shubha karma refers to Nitya Naimittika karmas. And that also he renounces. Okay. Now here, remember that when you say Shubha karmani, the person renounces, from the Vedantic point, from the spiritual point of view, Shastric point of view, he is renouncing Nitya Naimittika karmas, which means what is he doing? I'm not talking about today's world, okay? Today's world, we have all renounced Shubha karmas.
So sannyasi.
He is going to be a sannyasi. Okay, so you can be a Vidvat sannyasi or a Vividish sannyasi. That is the renouncement of Nitya Naimittika karmas. So just look carefully at the last verse also. In the previous verse, Sarvarambha Parityagi was there. That referred to the Grahastha Jnani. Right? So what is the difference? Here in this verse, the Parityaga refers to a sannyasi. What is the difference between the two? The Grahastha Jnani renounces Nishiddha karma, Kamya karma, and Prayaschitta karma. But since he is a Grahastha, he is bound by Veda. So he continues Nitya Naimittika karma. If he doesn't do that, what will happen? What is the word?
Pratyabhaya papam.
Pratyavaya papam he will incur. And therefore, Grahastha karma cannot, Grahastha Jnani cannot renounce Nitya Naimittika karma. Again, I'm being carefully saying that this is in the context of the Veda, right? Today, all of us are people who have renounced Nitya Naimittika karma. So that's not applicable today. But Grihastha Jnani renounces Kama karma, Prayaschitta karma, and Nishiddha karma, but continues Nitya Naimittika karma because he doesn't want Pratyavaya Papam. But here, in this loka, he renounces Kama karma, Nishiddha karma, Prayaschitta karma, and Nitya Naimittika because Shubhatagi he says. There's a difference in the focus of both these lokas, and we should be aware of that. That's all. One is for Grihastha Jnani, one is for sannyasi. Okay, we look at verse number 18, we will chant. Shamashatrau cha mitre cha
समशत्रौ च मित्रे च
तथा मानापमानयोः
तथा
मानापमानयोः
शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु
शीतोष्णसुखदुःखेषु
समसङ्गविवर्जितः
समसङ्गविवर्जितः।
So, Shatrau Mitre Samaha. For this jnani, whether it is Grihastha jnani or sannyasi, for this jnani, he does not look upon anyone as a friend or enemy. Right? Remember that the jnani does not consider anybody as an enemy or as a friend. Of course, it is possible that other people may consider the jnani as a friend or enemy. So that's not what is being said. Jnani does not have raga dvesha. Okay. And when you say jnani does not have raga dvesha, we don't mean that jnani should turn a blind eye to actions which are wrong. So if you think, and of course, all depends upon your role also. As a parent, even if you are a jnani, you will criticize an action if you think it is wrong. As a parent, if it is your role to punish, or as an administrator, if it is your role to punish, you will also punish an action which is wrong. What is the difference? The punishment is objective because of the action with a view to correct, not because of any ragadvesha. That is the outlook of a jnani. And next is tatha mana apamana yoho. So there will be, he has the same outlook towards manam, honor, apamanam, dishonor. He is mentally prepared for honor and dishonor. Right? Remember that throughout your life, there will be situations where people will honor you and where people will dishonor you. If you are mentally prepared to accept both, because both are like sides of a coin. If you get honor, you will also get dishonor. So they're all pairs of opposites. They're called dvandas. So there are more of them are given here. Shita Ushnaha, Sukha Dukhaha. Shita Ushnaha is cold and heat. Sukha Dukhaha is sorrow and happiness. All the pairs of opposites in your life, birth, death, growth, decay, health, illness, gain, loss, we are constantly faced by these pairs of opposites called dvandas. Nobody can escape the grasp of these dualities. What should you do? When you can't change something, you have to accept that. So prepare your mind to accept both parts with samatvam, with equanimity. So samaha, sanga, vivarjitaha. When a favorable situation comes, enjoy that. But know that it is temporary. Enjoy your relationships. Enjoy your children. Enjoy your grandchildren. Enjoy your wealth, your health. But remember that they are all the gift of Ishvara. And remember that Ishvara, what Ishvara gives, Ishvara also takes back. And this applies to your physical body also. He has given you a physical body. He has given you a mind. Let us utilize them for what it was given for. When the time comes back, we can hand it back without any resentment, with gratitude. Now the 19th verse. Tulya nindan stutit mauni.
तुल्य निंदा स्तुतिर्मौनी
Tulya ninda stutirmauni.
तुल्य निंदा स्तुतिर्मौनी
Santushto yena kenachit.
संतुष्टो
सन्तुष्टो येन केनचित्
Aniketasthiramati.
अनिकेतस्थिरमतिर्भक्तिः
Timan me priyo naraha.
भक्तिमान् मे प्रियो नरः
So tulyaha, balanced, he is the same, balanced. Nindaha stutihi. He is the same when people do ninda, when they criticize him, and is the same when people praise him. Stutihi. Right? Previously, they said he is the same whether it is mana or apamanaha. What is the difference between ninda stutihi and mana apamanaha? So there is a technical difference here. Mana apamana is by way of kaika karma. Right? People doing puja to you, giving you flowers, that is manam. And people chucking stones at your head, that is apamanam. So that is kaika karma. Ninda stutihi is vachika karma, verbal praise or verbal abuse. So those two differences in these two cases. They can mean different things in different contexts. But in this context, mana apmana is bodily action. Ninda stuti is verbal action. Whenever there is somebody in front of you who wants to criticize you, he will happily criticize you. Why? Because he doesn't spend any money when he criticizes you. Right? Santushta ena kena chitra. This is the mind of the jnani. Whatever he has, kena chitra, whatever he has, ena santushtaha, he is happy. So the jnani's mind is not a very complicated mind. It's a very simple mind. And because of the simplicity, that mind can be very easily pleased. Remember that the more sophisticated and refined your mind is, I won't say refined, sophisticated your mind is, the finer is the thread of Ragadvesha. And the finer the thread of Ragadvesha, the more difficult it is to please your mind. And how many of you pride yourself on being perfectionists? Right? A lot of us say that we are perfectionists. We say it with great pride. How many of you do that?
It's actually a constant burden, constant distress.
What do you mean when you say that I'm a perfectionist?
It probably
What?
means expecting others as well to be perfectionist.
No. What does it mean for you when you say I am a perfectionist?
To do things the way I think is the best way to do it.
So, in other words, you will never be happy unless things go exactly your way.
Yes.
Right? Vedanta will laugh at us. Vedanta tells you exactly this. Things will never go your way.
Yes.
Because you are driven by prarabdha. Your best effort also will not be successful all the time. Right? This doesn't mean that the jnani is indifferent. The jnani is a person who pays attention to details. In fact, because of the focus of his mind, the ease with which his mind focuses, he does everything properly at the right time. At the same time, what is the difference between the jnani and the perfectionist? The jnani is accommodative. He will put up with something which has not happened according to his expectations, both from himself and from others. A perfectionist, remember, is one of the worst bosses to have. If you are in a working environment and you have a boss for a perfectionist, it's a terrible boss to have because he thinks he'll be happy only when things go his way and he wants you to do exactly the way he wants you to do. Right? So a perfectionist is not a very great thing to have. And therefore, this jnani, he is accommodative enough. He puts up with all perfections. And not only that, the jnani is free from complaints. Right? And that's the mark of jnanam. The more you complain, the bigger samsari you are. The less you complain, it means that the more accepting you are. Right? Then, what else? Shankara adds in the commentary, Sharira sthiti hetu matrena. The jnani looks after his body only because the body is given by Bhagavan, by Easwara. He is the trustee only. So he does all the actions necessary to keep the body in okay condition. And Shankara quotes from Mahabharata. Whatever type of dress is available, this person is happy. Whatever food he is given, this person is happy. Wherever he gets to sleep, this person is happy. And Shankara says, if a person satisfies these conditions, is of course Mahabharata quote, happy with any dress, happy with any food, happy with any place for sleeping, only such a person can be called a real Brahmanaha. So Brahmin, a real Brahmin is not by caste, not by birth. Real Brahmin is by virtues, by gunas, and these are the gunas. And therefore he says Aniketaha. Niketaha means house. Aniketaha means one who does not have a house, which means whatever is available, he lives there and he is happy. Then Mauni, the word is Mauni. So Shankara adds, Mauni is not total Maunam. You cannot take that as total Maunam. You have to take it as Sanyata Vak. Shankara uses the word Sanyata Vak means a person of controlled speech, a person of limited speech. What does it mean? A person who talks when something is required to be conveyed. He does not talk because his mind is less restless. And we all know people, right, who keep on talking. There's nothing to say, but they want to talk. And if you put them in an ashram environment, you know what happens to them, right? He just can't keep quiet. And during satsang, they will do whisper, 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 whisper. So this is what is not expected. So he says, this person is a person who talks. Of course, he doesn't talk. He does not talk. But he talks when there is necessary to convey something. And there is a sub-commentator called Ramaraya Kavi. You know, there are commentators. There's a Bhashyam, Shankara Bhashyam is there. And there is a Tikakara or a sub-commentator, Ramaraya Kavi. He gives a comment here saying that, why has this Shankara said Sanyata Vakaha? Why has Shankara said Maunam does not mean total Maunam? Because Shankara is talking about Jnanis. And why is he saying here that Maunam means only limited speech, controlled speech? He says that because if all the Jnanis become Maunis, when they become Jnanis, what is the problem?
Teaching will become very difficult.
There will be no teaching. There will be nobody to teach Vedanta. The moment you become a Jnani, you will lose your ability to speak. And therefore, he is justifying Shankara's usage of the word Sanyata Vakaha, a person of controlled speech. He says this person is of controlled speech. He is not an absolute Mauni. Then the next one is Thiramiti. So you have to break it up carefully into Sthiraha Mati. It's not Sthiram Iti, Sthira Mati. Sthira is steady, Mati intellect. So Sthira Mati is the one who has a steady intellect, which means the one who has got Jnana. And what about such a person? Bhaktiman me priyaha naraha. Such a person is a person who's very, very devoted to me, very, very dear to me. So with this verse, the description of the Jnani is complete. And in the last verse now, Krishna sums up the whole chapter. We will chant. Please unmute yourself. ये तु धर्म्यामृतमिदम्
ये तु
धर्म्यामृतमिदम्
यथोक्तं पर्युपासते
यथोक्तं पर्युपासते
सद्दधाना मत्परमाः
तद्दधाना मत्परमाः
तास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः
तद्दधानास्तेतीव मे प्रियाः।
ॐ तत्सत्
ॐ तत्सत्।
इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे
इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे
श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे भक्तियोगो नाम द्वादशोऽध्यायः।
श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे भक्तियोगो नाम द्वादशोऽध्यायः।
So this is the last concluding verse. So ye bhaktaha, he says, all those seekers, all those sadhakas, idam yathoktam paryupasate. So Shankara says, idam yathoktam has to be taken as the yatha uktam. Idam yathoktam. This what has been said. Okay. What has been said? And Shankara in his commentary says you have to understand yathoktam as equal to the verses from the 13th verse of this chapter onwards. So he writes, Adveshta sarvabhutanam ityadinam paryupasate. The lifestyle mentioned from the 13th verse, starting with Adveshta sarvabhutanam, paryupasate means observes, anutishtanti, observes, follows. And dharmyamritam. So basically, all those seekers who follow the lifestyle mentioned from verse 13 onwards. That is the meaning of te bhaktaha idam yathoktam paryupasate. Paryupasate can be taken as anutishtanti, observes or follows. And dharmyamritam. So dharmyamritam, Shankara breaks into dharmyam plus amritam. So which is dharmyam, which is not contradictory to the Veda. So Veda aviruddham is the meaning of dharmyam, not contradicting what is said in the Veda. And that means both karma kanda and jnana kanda. And if you lead this life, what happens? Amritam. It leads to the discovery that you are immortal. Right? So the people who follow the virtues, the lifestyle which is mentioned in the 13th verse onwards from in this chapter, they will find that this lifestyle is in accordance with the Veda, and if they follow this lifestyle, it will lead them to moksha. Short meaning. Then, Shraddha Dhanaha, the people who are endowed with Shraddha. And Shraddha has to be in 4 parts. The first is Shraddha in
Shastra.
Shastra. Shraddha in Ishvara. Shraddha in Acharya. And the last one is Shraddha in yourself. Because if you don't have Shraddha in yourself, you are going to get nowhere. Therefore, Shraddha Dhanaha has to be taken as Shraddha in yourself, Shraddha in your Acharya, Shraddha in the Shastram, and Shraddha in the Ishvara who has given you the Shastra. Whoever practices these virtues with this fourfold Shraddha, that fourfold Shraddha is essential for your success. Right? And then you might say, how does Ishvara Shraddha manifest here? Because Ishvara's grace, Kripa, manifests as what? Shastra Kripa. Shastra Kripa is what? Acharya Kripa. Because of the Acharya's Kripa, the Shastra Kripa is available to you. Shastra Kripa means the understanding of the Shastram is available to you because of Acharya Kripa. And all this is possible only if you have Swayam Kripa, if you have your confidence in yourself. Right? And therefore he says, Mat Paramaha. Mat Paramaha means those who keep me, Brahman, as the final goal of my life. And Shankara adds here, Mat Parama is equal to now Aham Aksharatma Paramaha. I am that goal, Brahman, who is the final goal. And there should be commitment to Ishvara, to moksha, right? The commitment to Ishvara is for moksha alone. Remember, because you can be committed to Ishvara for worldly goals also. So if Ishvara is invoked for my worldly goals, then remember that my final commitment is not to Ishvara, because Ishvara is the tool and the worldly goal is the end. Your commitment is always to the end. And therefore, if you say that you're committed to Ishvara in the meaning of this verse, you are invoking Ishvara for moksha. Then only are you committed to Ishvara in full. Otherwise, because here moksha and Ishvara are the same. So Ishvara is the tool and the end. Only when Ishvara is the end, when moksha is the end, then only you have invoked Ishvara fully. And therefore, the Paramagatihi we're talking about, it is the Atma which is being talked about, not the Vishwarupa. Right? That Shankara makes it clear. You must understand it is Akshara Atma, the non-decaying Atma which you are, which is the Paramagati, which is the final destination, and not the Vishwarupa of Ishvara. And this person is what? Te bhaktaha ativa me priyaha. Ativa means most. Its comparative measure the highest. So te bhaktaha ativa me priyaha. They are the most beloved for me, Krishna says. And Shankara says, when you read this, don't forget to connect this to the 7th chapter. Priyohi jnanino tyartham. The 4th category of bhakta is who? The jnani. So to sum up, the virtues starting from the 13th verse of this chapter, you have to have. They're important at all stages of your spiritual journey. Therefore, karma yoga, upasana yoga, at that level, adveshta sarva bhutanam are very important for jnana yogyata. Later, during shravanam and mananam, these same virtues are important for jnana praptihi. Virtues are the same, but they are giving you different results at different stages of your spiritual journey. Karma yoga and upasana yoga give you what? At one level, they give you jnana yogyata praptihi. They give you the eligibility to come to jnana. Once you come to jnanam and you're doing shravanam and mananam, those same virtues, they become important for jnana praptihi. And after jnanam, when you come to nididhyasanam, the same virtues, they become important for jnana nishtha praptihi. So jnana yogyata praptihi, jnana praptihi, jnana nishtha praptihi, but the virtues are the same. But there is a subtle distinction which we should understand. At the first level of jnana yogyata praptihi, these virtues are necessary conditions required for moksha. Right? Because jnana yogyata only means you can come to jnanam. And therefore, at the first level, when we are talking about jnana yogyata praptihi, these gunas, they are required conditions for moksha. At the second level, when I look upon them as conditions for jnana praptihi, they are also necessary conditions for jnana praptihi. Therefore, here too, they are conditions for moksha. Therefore, at the first level, when I am aiming at jnana yogyata, all the sadhana chatushtayam are mandatory conditions for moksha. At the second level, when I have got chitta shuddhi and I am aiming for jnanam, then also sadhana chatushtayam are mandatory conditions for moksha. But after getting jnanam, when I am practicing nididhyasanam, I am working for what? Jnana nishtha. They are conditions for jnana nishtha. They are not conditions for moksha at all. Why? Because I have understood at this stage that moksha was never something to be acquired. How can anything be a condition for moksha? I am nitya muktaha. Where is the question of anything being a condition? Because moksha is my very nature, it is my swarupa. It is unconditional. And therefore, it's a very important corollary. As long as you see or you conceive of anything at all as a condition for moksha, it means we have not grasped the essence of Tattvamasi. With this, I'll stop. Any questions? It's a very beautiful chapter, and we can always,
Acharya ji, you always leave us with such profound statements to keep thinking about.
That's the whole purpose of Shastram, no?
Mhm.
So with
Thank you.
this, the 12th chapter is also over. And the next class onwards, we'll start chapter 13, another very, very profound chapter. So the first two sections are over. First Shatakam, second Shatakam. Now we are on the last 6 chapters. Okay. No more questions. We'll end this for today. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Acharya.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Om
Thank you.